my favorite Chicago Bear of all time. I don't know, he's so elusive. Is he coming from the back or here? Matt Forte is here. Hi, Matt!
Hey.
I like your shoes.
Thank
Come on
you.
in, come on in. What do you think of the set?
It's nice.
Love that you're here. You were here early yesterday. I need to hear about just your takes on the media row, all of it. How's it going?
It's interesting to be on the other side of it. Obviously, I've been here tons of times as a player and being, kind of pushed around to different sets to be on stuff. But it's cool to have my own booth and do interviews with guys and a lot of people that I continue to know and still know.
What was your takeaway from media night last night? I didn't go.
That was chaotic. It was chaotic.
Okay.
I think you wouldn't have liked it because you're smaller.
Yeah,
And
I'm scrappy though, Matt.
Yeah, you are. I was even getting bumped around in there. So.
Did you say I am Matt Forte?
No, of course not.
So how did that go? Who'd you talk to?
I talked to guys from both teams. I didn't really go to the risers. I went to the guys that were, on the floor.
That's what I would
talked
do.
to a lot of the Eagles, actually more Chiefs guys than Eagles. For some reason, they were like swamped, and they only kind of stayed in one spot. But had some good interviews. Chopped it up with Carson Wentz, who is a guy who was still playing when I was still playing. He was playing. He was kind of a young quarterback in the league and had some transition, has hopped around in different spots. And I mean, now he's in the Super Bowl and he's playing behind a guy who is really, really good. So
Matt, what's the vibe you're getting from last night? Who do you like?
What's interesting was the Chiefs came on stage at the same time with the Eagles, and they came on the stage, and they looked really relaxed and confident. Obviously, they've been to 5 out of the last 6 Super Bowls, so rightfully so. But the Eagles at the same time looked all business. They looked focused.
Okay, let's get to this. I want to take you back a lot of years. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to 2011. Can we for a second? Control Room, Fabulous, FanDuel, Up and Adams. Let's do this. You had to wait until your 50th NFL game to get back down and played it in the Superdome. That's absolutely insane. Talk me through this as you smile.
Yeah, this was
second touch of the game, Matt.
Yeah, it was one of the longest runs of the game, actually, on this one. But I think this game, I had a lot of all-purpose yards. I know towards the end of the game, we started getting blitzed, and it's not a great memory because we lost this game.
I know, but you had so many cheers, I remember.
I know. It was so many people I'm from Slidell, which is, 20-something miles away, and a lot of family members, a lot of people I played, like former teammates in Little League and high school and stuff that got to come to the game, so it was a great memory for that purpose.
What's the one thing that makes New Orleans, of course, you're from Slidell, you are close to Tulane. What makes this the best Super Bowl city?
I think because of the flavor that it brings, man. New Orleans is just different. There's no place in the world that you can go that you get a different accent like this. You get the different types of cuisine that's French and, African-American fusion. It's just different. I mean, there's no place where you can get gumbo and crawfish and beignets and all this kind of stuff authentically like you can here.
Let's get into the running back. Everyone wants to ask about Saquon. So last night, I don't know if you heard this because you were busy, he said he might have signed with the Bears. Did you hear him say this?
I heard that, but not from him.
Can we talk? He revealed last night he said really close to signing with Chicago. How different do you think the Bears season would have been if he was a Bear?
Not much.
Why?
Not much, because I am very critical of the Bears. Not
understandably,
but because I've earned that right. And as a running back, I think him coming to the Bears would have made it, obviously, a very dynamic player, right? He can do things that a lot of guys can't do. He actually did something, hurdling someone backwards that you've never seen in NFL history.
You've never seen that. Saquon can do things that Matt Forte you have never seen.
Never seen people do some of those things. And his explosiveness, like, he can score a touchdown from anywhere. And
how can you tell me that doesn't change anything for Chicago?
Well,
what are you saying about Chicago?
You have to have those holes to run through to be able to do that. And I don't care. I played in the NFL for a decade. I don't care if you're Saquon. I don't care if you're Tom Brady at quarterback. If you don't have guys up front that are clearing the way and making these holes for you, it just is going to be very hard to, be as significant as he was this year. So when it comes to the Bears, football is the ultimate team sport, right? You need everybody working on the same page at the same time. And so when it comes to one person coming into, even though they may be a generational talent, you still need everybody on the same page and really doing the work up front to open those holes up.
What will it take for them? New coach. You're not excited, I can tell. You don't even.
No,
you're not excited.
I'm excited. I don't get overly excited as some of our fans do because it's the same thing every year. It's a pattern. It's like, oh, this new part and piece has come in, and everybody gets way up here.
But if you're saying Saquon
hits.
can't break that pattern, what breaks that pattern?
I think it's from top down. They need a culture change. They need better
An ownership change, Matt?
I'm not saying that. The McCaskies have been involved in it for a long time. That's been a pattern too. Maybe that does need to change. You said that, not me.
No, I mean, when we say culture change, that can change by, even just a head coach can change the culture. We've seen that. Look at Dan Campbell.
That's true, but I think the culture is deeper than just starting with the head coach. I think it goes into the scouting department too, because they are the ones who have to get the parts and pieces into a system that the coaches believe in and that the players believe in order for it to work. Systems really can make or break someone's career. Mm-hmm. You've seen great talents come into other teams that their system has maybe not been suited for their particular expertise, and they've not been that good. So when it comes to a guy like Caleb, I like that Ben Johnson. I like his system for him.
Good.
But at the same time, offensive line needs to, get shored up. They had so many different combinations, which happens a lot when you have a lot of injuries, but also when you have guys that aren't making the plays that they need to be made up front. And so if you can't protect the quarterback and if you can't push guys off of the line and establish a run game, you're not going to help out a rookie quarterback who needs a run game to do that. Every team in the playoffs that have made a run and have gone deep into the playoffs or into the Super Bowl have had a really dynamic running game, whether it be a guy like Derrick Henry or a guy like Saquon, or if it's, with the Chiefs who have multiple running backs and they make their way with a group system.
Bears had a guy like you, my favorite player growing up in Chicago. You were something that represented what's possible, hope. It's the jersey everybody had and wanted. You had 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons. I look at Saquon making a move. Now he's playing in the Super Bowl. I look at Myles Garrett, a guy who soul, represent Cleveland. I want to go where a ring is. 4 years into your career, you had an opportunity to go somewhere else. Are you happy you stayed in Chicago, or do you?
I am. I think things do happen for a reason, and Chicago was one of the teams who they took a chance on me in a draft where there was many running backs. I think there was up to 7, I think 4 or 5 guys went in the first round. A lot of juniors came out who were highly, favored to be first rounders or be really good running backs, and I got drafted in the second round, and out of Tulane, which wasn't, the football school that it is now. So they took a chance on me, but at the same time,
you could have been Saquon that somewhere.
I had to fight. It was a different kind of dynamic to it. I got franchised in a way where the franchise tag was not what it is today. I look back, if it was kind of like how it is today, I probably would have signed the franchise tag. And I've said this on your show too, when they were devaluing the running back. I would have signed it and just not played and done that and just kind of use my leverage. That's the only leverage that you have. But everybody is when you put so much of your heart, soul, and your body into football, you want to secure something for your family that when you're finished playing like I am now, that you're good. And when it came down to that, I got franchised, and then they worked out a deal that I did put some incentives in there where it was just interesting. They would put certain things in my contract that weren't in other people's contract, and I had never really been injured. And I was like, I know I'm going to make these incentives.
See, all that. I understand why you made the decision you made, and I understand that you're a faith-based person, so you think things happen for a reason. I would have loved to see you get a ring somewhere. So when I see Myles and Saquon, I would have loved that. I know that you're not going to admit to regretting it, but I do wish you went somewhere else. I want to ask you about your podcast, because you're here, you're on Radio Row, and I love your angle. Because you are a Christian man, you are a man of faith, and you are here doing your Sports Spectrum podcast, you and Jason Romano, which you can download wherever you get your podcast. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah, we are here, and you said a little bit different of an angle. I think our angle is not specifically sports. We talk about that too, but our angle is mainly to talk about what matters most in life, because when the season ends of football, people turn to the next sport that comes, or when someone's career ends in basketball or football, they turn to the next, GOAT, right? So what matters most in life is how you treat other people, and what matters most in life is what you do with your life. God has created us for a purpose, and I believe life is bound by time so that we can figure out what that purpose is. And every person has a purpose that is beyond their own personal capacity. Mm-hmm. So you need God's help to actually fulfill that. So when you do find that purpose, you got to know that it takes God's help for you to actually fulfill it, and it's bound by time. So our time here on earth is limited. It goes by fast. I can remember just the other day being drafted and going to the Chicago Bears, and now I've been retired for about 5-6 years mm-hmm. already, and it went by like this. So what matters is what you do with your life beyond who you are as an athlete. And so that's what I want to bring to the table at Sports Spectrum, and let other people tell their stories of the ups and downs that they have been through. Like we talked to Ryan Leaf the other day, who has been through a lot of ups mm-hmm. and downs, and it was key for him to understand too. It took time for him to know that he is not what he is as a football player. He is a man. He has children. He speaks to people in prisons and stuff, and encourages.
And I look at these quarterbacks in the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, the two biggest figures in the world right now, two very faith-based, open men about what they think, what is important to them, their value system. I'm so excited for you to explore these stories. It is Sports Spectrum Podcast, hosted by Matt, Media Darling, and Jason Romano, wherever you download your podcast. Have a great week. We're going to take a short break here.